Hey everybody, this is Rydo and we're back to Fallout 3. Let's continue. Almost hit new, that would be crazy. Feel like there was something else we needed to do or address about the last recording as far as just the bad story writing, but honestly I can't even remember it, so I guess we'll just move the main story forward. I do definitely have this concern that we're going to end up rushing to the end of the game. These guys seem to not care one bit that our companion is with us. There is definitely also a question where if I was to send guy back, Fox here, I'm calling him Guy. If I was to send him back, I don't know where you would pick him up from. And I would like to meet that guy, the other guy that could talk, the other super mutant, and get them in the same location and see if there was some conversation there. But I could not possibly tell you where that is. I don't think is a mapped fast travel point, and it is fairly noticeable now that there are just quite a bit of mapped fast travel points that that you just can't. There are a lot of places that aren't fast travel points and aren't marked on the map. Whereas a more modern take on this map certainly would be, you would have something here marked, even if you can't fast travel there, and you don't really have to explain that. Interestingly enough, we don't have Vault 87, so you can't actually, I think, discover every location on the map unless there's some kind of rad resistance I could put on, and that might be an interesting experiment certainly later on to see if we can get our rad resistance up high enough for some like advanced radiation suits and Rad-X. It may very well be that there's still a level of perks that don't really allow for that. And we still pretty much have to just assume we're going to leave the items that were in the inventory of our companion in her inventory.
All I'm saying is, the longer we sit here, the more time they have to shore up their defenses. We should hit them sooner rather than
Effectively,
later.
we've kind of killed the Enclave, for the most part, with just little remnants. Oh yeah, what I wanted to mention is I thought that we were in a vertibird at Rock Raven and we weren't, so seemingly we don't.
Without the Gek, the purifier is useless to the Enclave anyway. They may give up before long.
I don't like it.
So they're having this whole conversation, but they don't know that they have the Gek.
Yes, Father.
So, you're back. We had feared both you and the Gek were lost. Were you successful?
Let's see, well, sort of. I found the Gek. There's no time, we have to move now or we'll lose Project Purity.
Excellent. With that, we hold the key to keeping the Enclave from controlling the purifier.
Let's see. It's not. Let's just go with the top line answers. I guess that's what we always go with.
What do you mean? Explain yourself.
And I guess you could be a jerk here.
Then we must go at once. If you have any other information, tell me now before we mobilize. Any help you can give might save lives.
Eden wanted me to sabotage the plan with some kind of virus. The Enclave is fractured. They're not as unified as they'd like us to believe. The Enclave doesn't have the activation code. They can't start the purifier. Rock Raven is destroyed.
I see. And where is this virus now?
Take it.
Thank you. I'll see to it that it's disposed of properly once the scribes have had time to analyze it.
What do I care?
Perhaps we
I
have
wasn't going to use it.
underestimated the
I was a
Enclave.
little afraid that I might accidentally
Sarah may be
activate it.
right. An attack may be necessary now.
If the Enclave has the Gek, there's nothing stopping them from starting
Again,
the
karma.
They'll figure out the code eventually.
I'm afraid you're right.
We're
We
just
need to
stuck in a
act now while we
cutscene
can.
again.
Send the Pride in. We can do it. We can win this.
All right, Sarah. The Pride goes in. But I want them to have some extra firepower. Rothschild, is it ready?
What? No, I mean, Lee and I have solved the power problems, but we've only barely finished diagnostic tests.
So we're going to activate
It's not ready
the
for
robot.
field tests, let alone live fire situations. The weapons haven't been calibrated, the navigation detection system is offline.
Rothschild, enough. Can you make it work?
Honestly, I don't know. I think we can scrape by, and I suppose if we can't, it won't matter in the long run anyway.
Then it's
This is
decided.
definitely the most
Sarah,
memorable
you take the
sequence in the
Pride
whole
and
game.
use the robot as support. Take our friend here and secure that purifier.
Yes, sir.
Hmm.
Before we get started, I wanted to let you know that my father and I have been talking. The Pride and I have decided that after all you've survived, you've done enough to be an honorary member of Lion's Pride.
Yay.
Congratulations.
Why do I care?
Membership comes with some privileges, including our power armor. You want the full suit or the recon armor?
Funny. It's ridiculous that you can do this. But is there any reason to take recon armor at this point? There's just no way you're going to use it in this game. The whole idea of being a stealthy thief or sneaking in and being like a spy just does not work in this game.
Sure thing. Hopefully, it'll give you a bit of an extra edge. Okay. So do you think you can hold it together for this?
Let's see.
Me too. If you need a minute to collect yourself, now's the time to do it.
Yeah, like they're telling you from this point things are going to change.
Okay, don't be nervous. You'll have the whole Pride backing you up, not to mention this giant tin can. Just stay safe until we reach the purifier. You're no good to us if you're dead.
We don't know what the code
And
is
don't let that thing
ourselves.
step on you. Okay, we're going to go over it one more time.
We're still
The Pride is on me. The goal is Project Purity, but
in a
have to get
cutscene.
to
We
the
can't
facility with
move.
those energy fields up. Rothschild and Lee say this robot should be able to take down the energy fields. So we're on fire support. We stay close to the thing, keep it clear, and get it to where it needs to go.
It sure feels like there should have been some side quests,
We'll use the robot to
or
keep them occupied
not
while
even
we
side
move
quests
inside and
that
secure
would
the
be
control
optional,
room.
but just
We need to move quickly.
more of a
Surprise
quest
them.
to
Get
to
whatever supplies
weaken
you
the
don't already have,
Enclave
and we'll make
first
available.
before taking down the
When we're done
shields.
with this, everyone can have a nice cold glass of water on me. Let's move. All right, Rothschild, fire it up. Pride, move out.
And I'm moving the camera here. We're not getting subtitles of the robot, Mecha Lincoln, or whatever he's supposed to be. It's supposed to be Abraham Lincoln. It doesn't really look like Abraham Lincoln. We've just leveled up with 1210 XP, so that must have been some well-rested stuff. Alright, well, with 23 points, 18 can take barter to the max, and that would leave 5 there. So, sneak to the max, or melee weapons to the max. Let's maybe do something like this. get that up to 90. Yep. And so yeah, we could take an additional 25% rad resistance to do that one thing. Or we could try for some other skills. Melee or unarmored, critical chance with ninja, lawbringer. Oddly might give us some quests. Or we pick something like cannibalism. And see, this is exactly why you don't want Swift Learner. And really, you shouldn't have taken the intensive training either. Yeah. I think we take Lawbringer as our option. And then there's still just a lot of things here that it doesn't matter that I've gotten the skills that I can put higher up. I just am not going to be able to grab this. Like Nerves of Steel in particular being the one I would really like. Okay. We now have a quest called Take It Back. And see, that's Dr. Lee, a different doctor. And let's, before we do anything, look at this power armor. Weight gain of 5, damage resistance of, I mean, this is just straight up power armor. It's not labeled as Lion's Pride or anything like that. Seems redundant. Fox is just totally in the way. So I think what we're going to have to do here is wander around to exit through the door. And I assume that's what we're supposed to do. Being lifted up by a crane and swiveled out. And so they swiveled him further that way. So I'm guessing we just go out the front door. But we're not really getting guided. It would have been very easy for the people to say, let's go, let's go, let's go. And like yell at you and point you in a specific direction. Although I guess if you've been playing to this point, even if you just rush through the main story, following the blinking arrow is the right answer. So definitely looks like a war field here, but you can't really shoot at these things, and they're trying to do a whole laser effect. And he's got these big blue laser effects. That's not going to leave probably anything that you can really grab. This is clearly a very scripted area and event. This robot is going to eventually hit a point where we can just walk through this broken helicopter. Alright. And weird whistling sound there. And there's an initiative. Yeah, I don't know if I'm supposed to be hitting these guys and getting experience or if they're just scripted people. Did we lose any other Brotherhood of Steel people? Possibly. This is a cool event.
Titanium alloy supplemented by photonic resonance barrier. Probability of mission hindrance 0%.
But this isn't really the game. Yeah, this guy's named Liberty Prime. I guess he isn't an Abraham Lincoln robot. I thought he had the personality of Abraham Lincoln for some reason. But and we're in one of these situations where unless we're gonna just straight up sniper these guys, it's gonna be fairly hard. And it does kind of just seem like you're supposed to stand back and let this guy walk. But they're not really doing that. We're getting these explosion effects, but I don't know if they're really hurting me. So it kind of feels like you have to take out these barricades. And I just don't think it's really worth it to even take the Tesla armor. It's just going to overweight me on top of having to pick up Brotherhood of Steel armor, which is what I definitely expect is really going to go down. And see, I don't know if maybe this is a resolution issue or what, but it does just kind of seem awkwardly like I'm moving very far ahead. Maybe it's because of Fox even. There we have a finger. So that was one of the people, one of the random people out there that we can maybe turn in fingers for with this new Lawbringer a perk. And maybe we'll be able to get some XP from that. But see, this is just like laughably too far ahead. Like, we were supposed to be following Liberty Prime, and at the very least, if they were going to have to leave Liberty Prime behind, then they would have probably at least had the other characters follow.
Look, if we make it to the purifier, we can chat then. Now's not exactly a good time.
Alright. It may just be glitched. Like, we're getting bombarded certainly from things way over here, but I'm not supposed to do anything with that. Like, this guy should be walking. Like, you can't climb up here on his legs. You can't do anything. My only hope here is that maybe everybody will just trigger if I walk far enough away from them. But I half wouldn't be surprised if the game kind of game's over because of that. But yeah, he should be walking through all these helicopter vertibirds, which yeah, they really aren't playing any role. They don't seem like they explode like cars or anything. So this was supposed to be a thing where we shoot cars and explode them. It's not something I... Yeah, we can explode a car, sure, and get that little explosion, but it's probably not going to clear out the path. And so this bridge actually ends up having us walk over to this area where we're very late to the game to even recognize that this area existed. And it's really just one of probably several dozen examples of interesting. My arm is crippled. I may not be able to actually pull the trigger. Plasma riser all the way to the max. Does only 46. And this all would have been super mutant stuff before this. Where did this guy come from? And while I'm seeing this cutscene, I'm getting radiation. So it's just another guy, apparently. This really is just a great example of the problem with Bethesda games, and where the next Bethesda game is going to have to really do something completely different, and not just be stuck in its same old engine and old mentality. And I'm frankly not sure I believe that Starfield, which is the next Bethesda game, will really do anything different, or can't possibly do anything different. Even though Microsoft now owns Bethesda and ZeniMax, that doesn't mean they own them for the vast amount of time that the development of Starlink will have been developed. There's just like no numbers even loading in. Like, this is just not gonna work. Every time they hit me, they're gonna cripple me. Let's do it. And because this whole game is really more about percentages than anything else. Just using VATS and shooting. Seems like the stranger is on the ground and these guys are up high. Just randomly shooting in a direction will hurt the people. We're getting blood all over the screen. I literally think the game glitched the audio there. Okay. Again, we may just have to do all of this a second time. Again, sure this can give us do we have Enclave power armor? I think we probably do. We're hearing a lot of sound effects. And we've got a shield. There's a shield here. It's blocking my way. It's also blocking my shots. So the game won't let you go any further. Now, if it is actually Fox that somehow glitched this, then that's ridiculous because Fox is literally the companion you're given before this whole sequence. Almost every single player would have Fox at this time. So that doesn't make a lot of sense. And honestly, I have no clue as to what to do. Am I supposed to clear the path that way? I mean, if I was supposed to clear the path that way, definitely feels like there should be something closer. That whole car is blown up. My only thought is maybe I need to maybe I just need to be further in the back. Alright, well then we're just gonna have to load this autosave and play it again. Like, see, this is really bad, to say the least. You have this special sequence, it's supposed to be just awesome, and instead of being awesome, you're running into glitches left and right. I don't even think the game is loading. Yeah, I think the game has just straight up crashed, and there's just no excuse for this because it's not like the game has been paused or anything. I'm gonna literally just have to close the app and relaunch all of it. Let's see. Stop that. Yeah, it's not stopping either. We may have to straight up just hit Control Alt Delete. There. Or try the equivalent of just clicking the X button if you hover over the preview on the taskbar in Windows 10. Nope, that's not working either. Let's just open the Task Manager. That may not be working either, because I can't see the Task Manager. Okay, well, I'm gonna pause the recording and hopefully not lose all this footage. Be right back. Okay, I'm back. That was some wonkiness to say the least. I don't know if it's my computer that messed up there because of Fallout 3, or if it was just my computer messed up and it messed up Fallout 3. Although I would probably chalk it up to maybe 50-50 in this case. Like, there really is no reason why this scripted sequence shouldn't have gone along as suspected. Where's my sniper gun? Sniper rifle. Whatever. But when I had to reset the computer because it was just fully locked up, there was Windows updates, and the Windows updates then messed up my entire computer, and I needed to fully power it off. You can see he has nuclear bombs on his back, which I guess he would just throw. And is there...
Freedom is the sovereign right of every American.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that part. He was, during the game sequence, he would talk too. So that whole part was not working even before this point.
Titanium alloy supplemented
This
by
part was scripted and was said, but he would also say,
0%.
and see, he just walked perfectly fine, and he's just scoping all of our kills, or sniping all of our kills, which is fine. Just let him do it. I'm gonna have plenty of XP. We'll be at max level before we probably even hit any of the DLC. And you can see how this is kind of a follow mission, but by no means a bad follow mission. The fact that he's just killing everybody around here would make it fairly difficult to follow behind here and find the fingers and turn in the fingers. We don't actually need to do the finger thing anyways. We actually don't even know who we're specifically supposed to be turning the fingers into. That's in a note that we have yet to read. So, interestingly, I can't bring up my menu there.
Alaska's liberation is imminent.
And he seems to turn around and wait for us if we don't get close enough.
Communism is a lie. Engaging Chinese invader. Communism is a lie.
And so we don't even have to really waste our bullets. Just let this guy do the whole thing. And yeah,
Initiating Directive 7395. Destroy all communists.
this does.
Red Chinese victory. Impossible. Democracy will never be defeated. Lazy Chinese invader.
This does kind of highlight, I think, the ultimate example of one team just going and doing something completely different from what everybody else is working on for this game. And these aren't named characters that we're getting fingers from, so it is just a randomized thing. I'm glad also to see I'm not crazy that this bridge did have shields around it. It's just at the end of the game, not at the beginning, and that would certainly explain why I remembered it. There we saw a visual glitch.
Stratagem inadequate. Revised stratagem. Initiate photonic resonance overcharge.
So now we have a new quest added called Project Impurity, but like now is really not the time. We can infect the Project Purity water supply or not. I think Liberty Prime here is just gonna stay.
Welcome. Stay sharp.
Alright. And by all means, this, in the middle of this all breaking, I think this is the end of the main story in the game. So let's, before we do it, just make sure. Take it back, reach the Project Purity control room, and then infect the Project Purity or not. As far as notes, attention lawbringers of the capital Westland, the regulators require your aid in bringing a scum and pestilence to inhabit our home to justice. Report to Sonora Cruz at the regulators headquarters for details. I don't have a clue where the regulators would be. Yeah. No clue. No clue where the Sonora Cruz would be. No clue where the regulators would be. They really didn't give me a quest on this as far as a repeatable side quest. So, okay, we do now have this new location that I guess we can go check out later. Of course,
The last domino falls here.
there is an issue certainly around
Engaging Red Chinese aggressors.
like, I think that's pretty much it. I think you still go through this door to get in. I think that really is the only way in.
Hale. Stay sharp and stick close to me until we're in the control room.
So Liberty Prime's outside. We're here. And if this really is the end of the game, this would be the point where they're really going to force you to this would be the point where they actually make you fight through this. And I suppose if you weren't so overpowered like I am, there might be some small struggle around reaching this point. But since I am overpowered, I'm now just getting probably more bullets than I will ever have a use for the electric weapons. I imagine this says requires key again, so you can't go back that way. I'd imagine that they don't want you to go this way, but maybe you could. And I would imagine we would be hearing more people yelling at us if there were any more Enclave. And maybe it is more post-game DLC that brings the Enclave back around.
Can't say I'm surprised. You and your ilk seem hell-bent on destroying everything our government has worked to
Still don't
achieve.
know the code
There's
for
nothing
the
to stop me from
GEC,
killing you this
so
time.
apparently
Let's
they
end
figured
this.
it. I suppose I can start with, look, I don't want to fight you.
You don't have to. Just stand there. It'll be over quicker and might even be less painful for you.
Well, so that didn't give me any choices, and I think we can pretty well assume that let's see. Let's take his special weapon in the finger and with bullets.
Well, that takes care of that. By now, the Pride should be mopping up whatever opposition is left outside. Let's get this room secured. Dr. Lee, it's Sarah Lyons. I'm in the control room. We're both here. What's going on?
I've been monitoring the equipment remotely, and we have a serious problem. The facility has been damaged during the fighting. Some of it looks accidental, some of it may have been sabotage. There's pressure building up in the whole...
Another dead Enclave soldier.
The whole facility could explode. To release the pressure, you're going to have to turn the purifier on. Do you understand me? It has to be turned on now. If I'm reading this right, I'm afraid there are lethal levels of radiation inside the chamber. I'm sorry. I wish there was some other way, but there's just no time. It has to be done now, or the damage will be...
So somebody has to go in there and they're gonna die.
Well, so
of radiation.
much for celebrating. One of us is going to have to go in there and turn the damn thing on. And whoever does it isn't coming back out.
So it could be
Not
this
exactly
girl
how I imagine going out.
who maybe should be like a
So, what should we do?
romance
Crossroads?
option, but just don't have it. Let's see. And originally in the game, it was like, I'll do it, I'll start the purifier and you die. That's the only option. Now, the obvious option that immediately people said is Fox is with you. Fox is almost always going to be with you unless you dismissed him. He's immune to radiation. He can do it. That's just logical. There's no reason for anybody to die. Or she can do it. And I don't think she was even an option.
If that's how you want to do this, fine. But be quick about it.
So you might as well just choose Fox. Even if you do it with the DLC, you don't actually die. You just wake up a couple weeks later.
Is a dire predicament. What shall
You
we
don't really get a lot of time with her. Code is 216, apparently. I don't know where I got that code from.
Of course. My immunity to radiation makes me...
They just wanted it to be this big self-sacrifice ending, which frankly, it should have just been a cutscene if that was going to be the case.
Destiny lies within that chamber. But you have already altered mine. The
And what you would have wanted to do is
return the favor. Cycle the airlock.
maybe have Fox get sick or die in a surprise twist anyways. And at this point, if we were going to do the FEV, they would have put the button there. You would have put the modified virus there if you were going to try and kill all the mutants.
The purifier needs to be activated now. You don't have much time left.
Again, it's not moving the camera or anything. In the original version of the game, I think you actually would have to type in the numbers. It's a very short code. You get this big radiation, and it's basically doing nothing to him. And you kind of wish this was a cutscene too, where everything is fading to white, just like super brightness. But it would be an interesting twist if it actually did hurt him or kill him.
And so it was that the lone wanderer...
No subtitles here.
From Vault 101.
Subtitles must have
intent
turned
on
off at some
discovering
point.
The fate of a father who had once sacrificed the future of humanity for that of his only child.
And then undid
The
that.
capital wasteland proved a cruel, inhospitable place. But the lone wanderer refused to surrender to the vices that had claimed so many others. The values passed on from father to child. Selflessness,
Notice they say
compassion,
child, not daughter or son.
honor, guided this noble soul through countless trials and triumphs.
And so we get like cutscenes of
It was not until the end of
things
this
we
long
did.
road that the lone wanderer was faced with that greatest of virtues, sacrifice. But the child refused to follow the father's selfless example, instead allowing a true hero to venture into the irradiated control chamber of Project Purity.
So you don't die as a hero, so
Thankfully,
you're not a hero.
When selected by the sinister president to be his instrument of annihilation, the Wanderer refused. Humanity, with all its flaws, was deemed
And
worthy.
obviously
of
he can
salvation.
only talk about things that
The
you
waters
had
of
to
life
do.
flowed at
You
last,
can't really
free
mention
and pure for any and
subquests.
all. The capital wasteland, at long last, was saved. So ends the story of the lone wanderer, who stepped through the great door of Vault 101 and into the annals of legend. But the tale of humanity will never come to a close, for the struggle of survival.
They can show you pictures
is a
of things
war
you did,
without end.
but
And war never changes.
cheap pop there to show Arlington Cemetery. And I don't know what that picture was supposed to be. Maybe that was supposed to be a picture hinting at the next game. And see, you could have sacrificed yourself and gotten a slightly different ending. And then you get this 2 weeks later. Anyways. So apparently you were affected by the radiation enough to be sick for 2 weeks.
Careful now, careful. Don't move too quickly. Everything's
There's
fine.
just
you're safe.
no hint whatsoever
We're in
that the Citadel and the
I was
Brotherhood of
starting to
Steel are
think you might
bad.
never wake up, despite assurances to the contrary. I've been coming down here
In a
every
funny
day
way,
to see
it's
both
better
you
that Fox did it
and my
because it
daughter.
makes super mutants
It's good that at least one
not
of you
all
has
look like they're
recovered.
evil, even though most of them are evil.
Yes, yes. She's fine. Oh, she will be. I appreciate your concern for her, but really don't worry. You've been through enough.
Let's just ask all the questions.
It's all right, you're safe now. You're in the Citadel. There was some sort of energy spike as the purifier started. You and Sarah were knocked unconscious and brought here to the infirmary. We've been watching over the two of you for days.
Now, this wouldn't have been in the
I'm glad
game
to
until
see
you
it's
got the
paid off.
DLC. Let's see. Did we win? Did we beat the Enclave? Seems like you probably aren't going to be able to ask all these questions.
Indeed, it did. The tidal basin is full of fresh, clean water now.
Now, the question is that going to kill the Mirelurks or any kind of other mutated fish?
Soon we won't be referring to the wasteland any longer. None of this would have been possible without the efforts of both you and your father. I doubt we shall ever be able to truly repay you.
Did we win? Did we beat the Enclave?
Yes, we most certainly did. Between your help in destroying their headquarters and their subsequent defeat at the Purifier, the Enclave was thrown into disarray. Liberty Prime has been assisting our forces in removing any remaining Enclave forces. Just about 2 weeks.
It's funny he says
Don't
about
worry,
2
we've been
weeks when
taking good care
in
of
the
you.
screen said 2 weeks later.
Well, that's really up to you, isn't it? The Brotherhood has a clear plan of action. The remnants of the Enclave must be swept away. The Pride has been working to this end ever since we took the Purifier back. The only remaining question is whether we can count on you to help us.
Sure.
Indeed. We can use every able body available to us. To that end, I'm going to circumvent our standard recruitment procedures and declare you a Knight of the Brotherhood.
And I
of
really
Steel.
don't care if they make me a
Before
knight.
you do anything else, please speak with Scribe Rothschild. I'm sure he'll be pleased to see you again. He can brief you on the details of the last few weeks, as well as where our efforts are focused now. I understand that you've been through quite an ordeal, but the sooner you can talk to him, the sooner we can put an end to all this.
Now, what's interesting here is this is definitely like DLC stuff that that is happening now, but I don't know which specific DLC would have given just general overworld quest. Maybe all of them do. What's weird here is, for the most part, there isn't... I don't think there really was a way to buy the DLC separately. I think you kind of just got it all as a season pass. And as such...
She's right here. Unresponsive,
So...
but stable. To see that you've recovered gives me hope.
I kind of wonder if maybe getting the season pass just gave everything.
Oh? Have you learned something?
Let's see.
Vault 87, where you found the Gek. We've never been able to penetrate the radiation surrounding that area. This information is invaluable.
Interesting.
Well done.
So we gain some karma and some XP for turning in that information.
My child, you seem to have learned more in the past week than I have.
The weird thing is you're still going to end up killing most of the super mutants. They don't seem like they can actually survive from one generation to the other without killing.
As you know, I had my reservations about engaging the Enclave. They did not directly attack us, and I believed we had time. Time to be cautious. Their assault on the Purifier forced our hand. We had no choice but to engage them directly. And once that engagement was begun, we could do nothing but see it through to the end. If they had not considered us a threat before, they do now. So, we have spent the time since you and I last spoke, systematically locating and destroying every bastion of Enclave force we can. Liberty Prime has proven far more successful than any of us could have hoped for.
So, yeah. One last thing we can ask him.
The Brotherhood has taken over control of the Purifier and is managing distribution of the water to the people of the Wasteland. If you travel there, speak with Scribe Bigsley. He's heading up the on-site operation.
And see, any like dirty water that I have
Please
at this
be careful.
point
I would hate to lose you again.
doesn't seem like it it would translate into clean water even if I took it to the purifier.
I had hoped you'd return. What now?
Let's see.
With all due haste.
So he's now
And I shall follow.
he's now just going to be our companion again. Them Sentinel Lions in our underwear. Let's see, still unconscious. And is there really any reason why we really would need to pick this lock? Like dirty water and stim packs and things. No special quest or cure for her. So we now have this death from above quest, and we might as well just stick with that. Aqua Pura is, I guess, another way of saying pure water. And I guess we just probably haven't been in this place. Let's see. Construction. Recreation. Recreating is going to be wrong. Appreciation. Now, of course, if you had played the game and just done the main story, you very possibly would be able to miss significant portions of the game. Remember, I missed at least half of this game by simply let's see there. This pause now if you want to read this. Pause now if you want to read this. Pause now if you want to read this. Just a lot of people, a lot of death records here. Pause now. Pause now if you want to read that. Pause now if you want to read that. Now we've unlocked the lock again. So now you just have these Aqua Pura crates that give you HP plus 20. But it is important to point out how incredibly broken the food system is in this game. I can't imagine anybody short of somebody playing on the most difficult levels of, like, the most highest difficulty. That would be the only time I would expect that anybody would actually need to go and eat a bunch of food to actually accomplish anything.
What do you need? Talk.
Looking for Scribe
Glad to be of help.
Jameson.
Steal be with you. Hey, if
There
there's
she is.
anything I can do to help, please just say so. You have. If you
Hmm. Hmm. Just
very well.
hmm.
The Brotherhood has been battling but this group of super mutants is different somehow. Physically, yes, but mentally as well. If we knew where they came from, we'd know why. Go with peace and knowledge.
So that wasn't the scribe that we needed to talk to, which I knew that wasn't the right scribe. I just thought maybe I had a Brotherhood of Steel tag. And honestly, we might find some if we just wandered outside and looked for a few. I don't know if we're ever going to find the Steel Paladin. The robot's out and about.
Welcome. The Brotherhood is at your service.
All right. Looking for Rothschild. I guess we probably could do
What do you need?
business with her now.
I should let you know, I'm not going to use any of our equipment to provide parts.
Right, so repair that. Repair that.
Sure.
And we can see if they have anything of real value to buy. We are over 40,000 as far as what we've got in caps, which is a very high number. Colonel Adams out of uniform. Just go ahead and sell that. And let's see if we can sell that many. It seems like that was probably a good trade.
Another satisfied customer. Of course.
She's a kind of more in. She's probably a better voice for a shopkeeper than Moira is, considering how Moira was too quirky for somebody that you would want to visit multiple times over and over again.
In all things, the calm heart must prevail. The Brotherhood is at your service.
Alright.
Hail.
So maybe Scribe Rothschild is actually in the courtyard. Or, nope, he's just over here.
Well, it's good to see that you're on your feet again. I assume Lyons is immediately throwing you to the wolves? Has he told you what's been going on while you've been resting?
He said you'd give me the details.
Well, Owen does have quite a bit on his mind lately, as I'm sure you can imagine. This is the first time the actions of the Brotherhood have affected him in such a personal manner. Please, step over here. I'll bring you up to speed.
Now we're gonna have to walk and follow this guy. He's gonna go show me the map, I suspect. And tell me to go to several different places. That was the end of my well-rested perk. Or locked in place.
Now, as you well know, this all began with the Enclave's occupation of Project Purity here. Thanks to you, their main headquarters here was utterly destroyed. They then suffered a second defeat at the Purifier. Based on a combination of intelligence and field reports, other Enclave locations throughout the wasteland were found. Cut off from their leadership, it was expected that their forces would be in complete disarray. This has not been the case. Based on data and tech gathered from these locations, we've determined that the Enclave forces are still maintaining remote communications. We isolated the transmissions and found their origin point, an old military installation in Rockland, to the southwest. Our advanced scouts have checked over the area, but no easy access to the facility was found. So we're making our own access point. Paladin Tristan is leading the team setting up forward base in an old car tunnel near the site. Once he's settled, Liberty Prime will be deployed.
So this tunnel down here was the thing that required a key.
Point for the team. The team will move in, eliminate any opposition inside, and cut off their transmitter. Any relevant data should be brought back here. Now, did you have any other questions? If there's anything else you'd like to know, I'll alert him that...
You could ask about super mutants still. I guess they kind of matter in Liberty Prime.
Performance is exceeding all our expectations. He's been especially effective against the Enclave's vertibirds, for which we previously had no counter. We're fine-tuning his programming as we go, but on the whole, I'm pleasantly surprised. It's as I always suspected. Prime's real issue was energy management. And when Dr. Lee helped us solve that problem, well, the rest was easy.
And there's just a lot of dialogue here
Not really.
that I don't want to bother to try and have conversations
And so
around.
you go.
What's funny is our paladin lady,
Need something, friend?
I have no idea where she went. She was standing generally in this area originally, and she may have just been completely kicked out of the game. Alright. So we now have most of the people seemingly out fighting. So what this does now is we have a reason to go check out this area. And I can't mark the map again. We might as well check out the regulator HQ. And we seemingly can't do anything more until we do the Rockland car tunnel stuff. So what I'm going to do is let's just fast travel here. And then I'm going to actually just pause this recording, make a safety save, and kind of take a break since I'm having that neck problem, which I'm trying to deal with. And then I'll be back. I know we've barely gone 40 minutes. This may be a fairly short game. The game would have totally been over without the DLC at this point. But we obviously have a little bit more to do, so, or probably a lot more to do. So I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I honestly thought I was only going to take a few hours of a break. But honestly, it's been 18 hours since I took that break. What is this guy doing here? Where are we? I guess we are here. And this is now the Jeffersonian. There's just this whole new setup location that just wasn't here. I assume there was either nothing here or some rocks here. Interesting. I cannot even look in this. I can't even look in this filing drawer.
I'm so glad I got drafted to be part of Lion's Little Water Delivery Team. No, really, I can't tell you what a wonderful opportunity this all is.
So, they are now just delivering purified water everywhere. Now, this is interesting because you have Rivet City Security working with them, too, and you have just a Brahmin with water, and you have a scavenger here. So they really are just delivering water all over. It's funny they're calling it Aqua Pura, though, because Aqua is Spanish, and I assume Pura is also Spanish. And best as I can tell, all of Mexico was taken over by the United States, and any individuality that they would have had was probably stripped of them in favor of just the rah, we love the United States mentality. If this is, like, there's definitely new art assets here that were added in this DLC. And I wonder if a lot of these locations are honestly more from DLC, and that they were just added after the fact. This literally goes nowhere. Like, we know the water here clearly is new. We know that these new pumps and pipes are new. We know that that whole desk setup is new. Fox is getting in the way. Yeah, you would think it would just be called purified water instead of aqua pura. That does seem like they wanted to do something cutesy, and in doing something cutesy, well, that was dirty water, so we're still going to find dirty water. I almost wonder also if we aren't going to see basically anywhere where there was once a suitcase that might have a percentage chance of being shifted into a aqua pura crate. There's just a whole bunch of garbage in the way over here to block off that section so you can't go through there. They probably had to rethink several things. But this also creates a weird situation where the water now in the tidal basin may not be radioactive anymore. The water in this stuff is still radioactive, so that hasn't changed. But I may just be able to go swim in the ocean, and theoretically we may just run right up to the invisible walls that say you can't go any further without taking any radiation at all. There haven't been a considerable number of places where you needed to swim and you potentially would have gotten irradiated, but there's been a couple. I almost wonder also if people are just going to be super happy with us. Like, we may potentially end up at a place like Rivet City.
Yes, sir. I don't know, sir.
Like, what is the subtitles? Let's see if the subtitles just somehow magically got turned off. Nope. They're supposed to be on. They're just not working anymore. So they're talking about trading with Rivet City over here. Oh, I guess he's talking about it. There's a whole bunch of stuff here that you would be technically stealing now.
Tamper with that, and we're going to have a problem.
So he wants water to go to Big Town and protect Big Town, which makes sense.
Long day.
And there might actually be something in this safe. Let's see.
How was your visit?
There's stuff in the safe, not anything particularly useful.
Biscuits?
Ham radios.
And what did you tell our illustrious leader? Did Lyons give you a little congratulatory speech? Then you won't mind if I don't offer you one? Thanks to you and that little friend of yours cranking up the purifier, my life's become a living hell.
This is a great example of him not turning around.
Probably don't care about that.
Let's see.
Excuse me, I'm Bigsley, and I'm just a tad stressed out. Perhaps you saw that little line outside my door? Everyone was so excited about that purifier. Project Purity this, Project Purity that. But did anyone stop to ask?
The voice actor
"Hey,
sounds like he's
what are we
doing
gonna
a
do
character.
with all that clean water? Well, guess who gets to fill in that tiny detail? It'd be one thing if I had support, but that little war with the Enclave has depleted much of the Brotherhood's resources. And to top it off, I have to be mommy to a bunch of lab coats.
Let's see if he'll give us an actual quest.
Really? Well, there's plenty of things I need help with. But most of it's pushing papers and knocking sense into giant eggheads. A task for any acolyte, really. I'm sure I could put your experience and talents to far better use. Well, I've got Rivet City water caravans needing help with some unusually organized bandits. Need someone to go investigate what that's all about. And then there's Megaton. They want more Aqua Pura. I just sent a shipment to them. Need someone to go visit Megaton and see what their problem is.
So let's just exhaust all the dialogue options.
Don't get me started about Rivet City. They feel entitled to everything. Always whining about how they're our scientists and all that crap. Like they did us a favor. Thought the security deal we'd worked out with them would be a win-win. And my hope was they'd completely take over the water caravan escorts by now. But I got Officer LePelletier bitching about an organized bandit syndicate. Guess they don't have the chops after all. I need you to go visit Officer LePelletier and lend a hand.
Interesting, though, that these are
Great.
not just giving us quests yet. We still have to go through all this dialogue. Like, it seems like you have to really struggle here to find quests.
I don't know what to think. I got lions breathing down my neck about it, though. Apparently, Megaton's sending him nasty letters demanding a shipment. I just sent them a week's supply. A month's if they ration. Look, if you can straighten out Megaton so I get lions off my back, I'll make it worth your while. Really? Oh, that's great. I'm sorry I can't offer you any support in this. All our resources are tied up at the moment. Good luck. Oh, and of course I'll have a little something for your efforts if you're successful. Stay safe out there.
So now we have holy water as a quest. Like, really having to struggle to find these quests, but I'm glad to see that they exist. I'm not even going to bother to ask any of these other questions.
That's the last distraction for a while.
Like, it's nice to see these quests exist, though, because clearly, if they were going to have us run around this whole area, they needed to give us more to do. Although, I have to once again point out that it's very, very feasible and believable that a lot of people would have never done anywhere as much as I have done in the overworld, and that there would have been plenty of leftover quests from the original game to do for most people. But you can't really sell DLC while pandering to the audience that didn't do 100% of the game. And inherently, I think that is kind of the problem with the idea of DLC in general, is that you really are selling it to the super fans of the world, of that specific game, people who have done 100% of everything. So they've just barred this door so you can't go back in. I imagine that's only going to be the case in like the Jeffersonian. It would be really crazy if we started seeing a whole bunch of barred places everywhere else.
Morning.
And here's this guy.
Look, I'm busy. Can we do... You haven't heard? I guess I shouldn't be surprised. She basically folded. After the purifier was started, she decided she'd had enough and headed up north. Said she was looking for the Commonwealth, like she'd ever make it on her own. Tell you what, you run into her, you tell her Daniel sends his regards.
So they must have lost the voice actor for Dr.
What's
Lee.
it look like? I'm doing my work. These Brotherhood scribes wouldn't know what to do with half the equipment here if their lives depended on it. I'm basically running this place from behind the scenes, no matter what Bigsley tells you.
There's literally only one scientist, it seems like, left that could possibly teach the scribes of the Brotherhood of Steel how to make sure that this thing continues to work. And see, that is definitely the danger. Is they may very well give a whole bunch of water to people for a few years, and then the whole system may fail just as people are becoming dependent on it. I do expect to see a lot more like pure water in refrigerators all over the place. That would be what I would fully expect to see happen. And it's almost silly that there's so much scrap metal here. But scrap metal very quickly is going to just be another junk item amongst all the other junk items. And see, this is where the sewer entrance would have been, and that's blocked off also. It would be fairly weird for there to be books at this point. We may find a few, but I bet the DLC doesn't really add any more comic books, which eliminates one of the major things. Alright, so I guess it's not completely empty and devoid of scientists, but it is certainly fewer than of the named ones. There's still nothing really around here. Remember, the Gek is like a 200-year-old piece of equipment. There's really no reason to trust it and think that it would just work forever. We can't activate this. And see, you could have activated the code. And there's just scientists kind of walking around. I think the game is very poorly written to imply you had to sacrifice yourself. Like, the idea, it is... immaturity is the only word I can really think of to write a story and imply that you have to sacrifice yourself to be a hero. Like, it's a level of immaturity that doesn't even really exist amongst the United States military. Like, plenty of people are still definitely considered heroes, even if they're only wounded in war, or if they come back completely intact physically. I doubt very many of them come back intact mentally. Alright, well, let's do this. Is this water irradiated? No. So, you can literally just swim in it now. You've just got the swimming pool. Of course, swimming as a thing, and I kind of assume Fox is not following me. Swimming's not much of a thing in Skyrim even. This looks way nicer than it probably originally did, as far as just the reflections on it.
God, what a stink.
And you can see there's just a whole bunch of mirelurks here that he is burning. So the mirelurks are quickly being killed off. And we'll just stick a toe in this water and find that that's irradiated. Okay. So the clean water does not probably go everywhere, if I was to guess. And we'll probably want to just like fast travel to this location and see if the water maybe winds around. Alright. Make sure we're on the right quest. This is Harkness, which I believe it was the android guy. And apparently the person we need to talk to is actually up here. Good. So we don't even have to go to Rivet City, which is probably useful. Here.
You saved my life. Thank you. Can you...
Let's see. The Brotherhood of Steel is giving away Aqua Pura. Why don't you drink that?
Giving it away only to certain people. And those people aren't giving it to me.
Interesting.
You saved my life.
So that you're always going to have that problem.
I'll never forget you.
It does give you this other dialogue option, though, instead of killing the character or giving irradiated water to the character. Whereas, definitely kind of feels like before you had to stick with one of those options, and then that one of those options would kill the character. So this is just a new person.
If you're here looking for water, I'm afraid I can't help you. All the water is at Project Purity. If you want a handout, head over to the Jefferson Memorial and ask for Scribe Bigsley. Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm busy coordinating military operations.
So everybody's passing the buck.
Oh, he did? Huh, I was beginning to think he forgot about us. Not sure how much you know. There's been an increase in attacks on the caravans. Seems organized, and not just the random raider or mutant encounter. I'm running out of resources, and I'm down to my greenest men. I want to get to the bottom of these coordinated attacks. The sooner, the better.
We still never really figured out what the super mutants were looking for.
Great. I can really use a strong arm on this one.
What's funny here is,
I need you to escort a caravan from Project Purity to
of
Canterbury Commons.
the most,
If, or rather when they get ambushed,
most of the main characters who are voiced have felt like males. Like, it does feel like there's been a little bit of an imbalance there as far as main characters. And so her voice stands out as being arguably maybe too upbeat and happy for Fallout 3 compared to everybody else's voices, but it also stands out as just being kind of more feminine. Now, honestly, if I was to think about all the characters in the game, it probably is closer to 50% male, females than I would think, but you do have like the problem in Little Lamplight where the mayor is a male kid that cusses a lot, and then Princess is the butt of a joke character that you don't even really have to talk to.
I'm pretty certain any caravan will be attacked. This particular caravan also happens to have my most junior men escorting it. They could really use someone with wasteland experience leading the team.
Let's see.
After protecting the caravan, track down the attacker's base of operations and put an end to it once and for all.
Okay.
Do the job right and report back to me.
And see, you have to ask to be paid, even though I have, and we still want to do the plasma mission.
I suppose I don't really need it pushing papers around here, do I? All right. Consider it an advance on your payment. You'd better not disappoint. Great. I had a feeling you would. Officers Davis and Lauren should have just left Project Purity. If you hurry, you'll catch them. Their course hugs the river closely. If you head north, following the river from Project Purity, you should catch up to them. Please, hurry.
Let's see. It's funny, I still don't understand why Brotherhood isn't selling water. I'm not even going to ask that question. It just seems really greedy. And, like, does the Brotherhood of Steel really need caps? Like, they want technology, and most people don't have technology. Besides, they'll get more initiates by being,
At first it was a win-win. They paid us,
by them
shared
giving
technology
water
with
away.
us. The spoils of their war with the Enclave were particularly enticing. However, with all the recent attacks, the extra resources end up being used just protecting the caravans from being exterminated. Good luck out there.
Alright, so I got this. I got this plasma rifle, which I don't think the plasma rifles really get repaired enough to really give you any damage. It's not a special plasma rifle by any means. Now, ideally, this would be the water caravan, but I suspect this is not the one. This is just a random one. So instead of seeing perhaps groups of slavers, which we very rarely even saw them, we will see more water caravans. But water caravans are kind of far from the they're kind of far from being trading caravans, so you can't trade with them. And solving Project Purity is not going to rebuild buildings or anything like that. It would have to be a whole different game, like where you come back 10 years later and you start to see some semblance of society being rebuilt. But it would take a lot. You would have to have some massive equipment to start tearing down these buildings, recycling the concrete, stripping the steel from inside the buildings. Some of this work sure could be done by hand if you just had a ridiculous amount of healthy, able-bodied, and willing workers to tear down a building slowly. But really, you need the kind of construction material and machines, heavy-duty machines, that would have built something like this in the first place. And maybe you could use Fox just killed the guy. This centaur. I assume centaurs would just never have fingers on them. That wouldn't make a lot of sense. We're going to collect a bunch of fingers until we get to where we are going. This whole path feels a little different from where I thought we were going. Yep. I also wanted to tip my toe in here and see if this water's radiated. Yes, it is.
Hello? Who's there?
Let's see, here we see Brahmin dead. And this was a shopkeeper location. I don't know if that person's still around or not. New meeting place. Okay. Let's read this quest note.
Hi, I'm Split Jack. I'm recording this because I figure half you idiots can't read for shit. But you best don't lay this tape around just anywhere. If you're listening to this, it's because one of my boys thinks he can trust you. If he's wrong, you're dead. If he's right, then you're gonna be rich. Got us a plan, see? We hit the water mules with the Brotherhood busy fighting the Enclave. Soon they'll want to give up the whole delivery thing. Then, we offer our protection services. Wasteland's dangerous and all. We charge them steep. On top of it, we sell the water to whoever we want. If you want in, ride out with the next ambush. Stash the water when it's done, the regulars will show you where. And then get up to Grandma Sparkles. Grandma loves visitors and keeps her mouth shut. That, she cooks a mean stew. So that's where we meet. Wilhelm's Wharf. It's on the river. Don't get lost. Oh, and memorize the passphrase. It's Mirelurk stew. If you forget it, don't bother coming round. You'll get shot. No kidding.
So, interesting. That makes me wonder if Wilhelm's Wharf as a area, and we'll just walk that way, I guess, because there's apparently enemies somewhere around here. It definitely makes me wonder if that was just not there in the original version of the game. Which, yeah, certainly would make sense. And I kind of wonder if I was supposed to protect the trade caravan more, but seems like the answer to that is probably no. And any instance in which we might be able to fast travel would be great, but it's also not like the game gives you feedback when you're outside of danger. So you could either try and wander around and see if you're far enough away to fast travel, but you're going to end up trying multiple times.
Next time, put up a fight.
So we have a whole bunch of bandits and Split Jack.
Who the hell are you?
Let's see. I am here to send you and your gang into retirement. Got any last words? See, are we sure this is the bad guy?
Huh. You're one of the newbies then. Fine. So long as you know the passphrase, you're in. If not, you're dead.
Let's see.
Okay, you're lucky you knew that. Don't know who let you in, don't really care. This is a real simple gang. Whoever's the toughest sets the rules. And that's me. And I got just one rule. Do what the hell I say when I say it.
See, now we have a very different looking, better looking.
Oh, and put this on. We're a gang. We all wear the same uniform.
Alright. So we'll play along. And sit down. At the very least, we'll wait until everybody arrives.
What is it? Take a seat and relax already.
So, let's have a talk.
No one told you? It's simple. We hit water caravans and stash the Aqua Pura. And after Rivet City's had enough, we offer our wasteland protection services. Then we control the water. And we charge whoever...
It doesn't seem like there's really anybody above
How
him.
do you like that?
Let's go ahead with the speech quest.
What? Well, damn it. You're probably right. What the hell was I thinking? Guess I'll have to come up with another plan. Come on, boys. Now we're sticking around here. Let's go blow off some steam. Kill anything or anyone you like. Damn it. I'm too pissed to talk now. Gotta blow off some steam.
Let's address this issue. I think we can say bad guys going to kill people randomly and indiscriminately is not acceptable. Wow, that guy is just, he was just flying. Alright, so that's the end of Splitjack. And while we're at it, let's just go ahead and get rid of that. No finger on Splitjack, right? Didn't see one. And the old lady is just not here. So let's see if she's in here. Lose some karma by stealing some bobby pins. Don't really care. Alright. We'll wait an hour and just see if things change. We'll talk to Grandma Sparkle.
You again? Y'all interested in trading this time? You watch out.
And so she doesn't have any status change, as it were, with what she says. Quest wise, it feels like the quest should be done. Yeah, that job is done. Let's take a side moment and go check out the regulator HQ. This is a bad position to fast travel into. There's just a lot of people all over the place. Guess we're going this way. There's just no point in grinding. Like, as far as killing people. Unless it's a quest mission. Arguably, that's an interesting thought, certainly, to make an RPG game where you don't really need to and aren't encouraged into killing people unless it's a strong narrative way. Instead of having killed 500 plus people in this game, if I'd only killed maybe 10 or 20. Although, usually in narratives, even if you kill one person, that's hugely impactful. It also completely ruins the main gameplay mechanic of almost every game. Every shooter game, certainly. If you're not being particularly encouraged to kill people. So I wonder if this regulator's HQ is just going to be a base. This is just like one of those areas where feels like I probably could have come in here earlier. The raid shack.
Fresh blood just right for the taking.
Stab happy. So I wonder if this is supposed to be like a Radio Shack reference. Radio Shack as a company would have still existed in its original forms.
I win again!
Yeah, you definitely can just have Fox take control of anything here. And it works fine. Like, he'll just kill everybody. You don't have to pay any attention to it. So if you had gotten him fairly early in the game, then that really does start to kind of hurt any need to play the game. And that will, I guess, consistently be the question is, how much need is left to play the game after you've done the main story? Because you're kind of promised that you won't have a better experience or better narrative story from this point, even if they do give you some small follow-up side quests. Like, you really aren't going to be expecting too much, or shouldn't be expecting too much. Alright, so that wasn't the Regulator's HQ, though. It must be... I went the wrong way. How in the world did... We'll follow this triangle, which almost certainly this triangle wasn't there before. Enclave soldier. We'll take the outcast armor. We'll take the finger. Leave everything else. If there are actual entire elements of the overworld that have changed, and they're just now buildings that weren't there before, that's a little frustrating that you can potentially save the Brahmin, I guess. We didn't save the Brahmin. Yeah. Arguably, it may have just been better to not add new content or add new areas if they did add new content, new areas.
Hello. Sonora is our leader. Speak with her.
Yep. This definitely just seems like it's a building. And it does just kind of feel like you wouldn't have been able to find this or go here until you'd gotten that perk. And that perk was a pretty late perk to get.
Stay on the right side of the law.
But I could see the mentality there. I just don't think it works greatly that to say we know this game is running out of unique content, so let's give a perk where you are rewarded a little bit more by killing people.
Well,
This is
hello
going to be
there.
a really
I
dark
heard we might be getting a new
conversation.
recruit. I'm guessing that you've come about the notice. You know, I've heard about you. You're not bad people from what I understand, and the regulators can always use good folks. So what do you say? You read the notice, and you're here, so I'm guessing that you want to ride with us. Am I right?
Sure.
Fantastic. Take this coat. We
And
all
so you're
live
basically
the
like a
unrighteous fear the sight of the regulators.
cowboy sheriff.
Now, as for the rest, here's the only thing we want from you. Hunt down the evil, the wicked, and the villainous. Bring them to justice. Bring us their fingers as proof of the deed. We'll pay you a bounty for each one. Simple, right? Questions?
And at a certain point, it is the beginnings of maybe a justice system, but not really a justice system. Like, nobody elected the regulator, certainly. Nobody is watching the watchmen of the regulator, so who knows if they're killing good people or bad people, or if they get it right even most of the time. There are no specific written laws. There's no specific established authority. There is no court trial. There's no chance to defend yourself. These are all things that tend to be necessary in a lawless land to bring law to a lawless land, but they are also systems that are abused and implemented very unfairly.
We're the regulators. We've dedicated our lives to bringing the evil to justice.
It's very comic
And out in
booky,
the wasteland,
like
there's only one
superheroes.
brand of justice. The gun. Nothing. Nothing at all. They only serve to mark the fact that justice has been done. While we trust our members not to take innocent lives for profit, having a record of the deed is sometimes necessary. While we don't have liars in our midst, occasionally we all embellish a bit. Oh no, we're spread all around. The few here just assist me in organizing things here at the headquarters. There are regulators
It's just so
everywhere.
unfortunate to
if
have
you
the
see them,
darkness.
then they're likely the last thing that you'll see.
So you almost assume that the stranger is a regulator.
And you've been busy. Good. Show me what you have.
Here, take them all.
You've done good work. Not only that, but the other regulators have told me of your other actions in your travels. Good deeds should not go unrewarded, and so I will add on a bonus to your normal bounty.
So we gain karma. And I got 140 caps.
The unrighteous will fall. Make your joke. Do not let...
So we'll probably never come back here. Like, if you're just getting some karma and some... if you're just getting karma and a few caps from that, it's not worth your time. I need to point out, though, that there are quite a few things, like Old Olney, that had a lock that we couldn't access. There is the National Guard Depot where you have to get specific keys to access. Yes, there's a door in the scrapyard that we can't open and unlock. There's a question if you can ever actually discover Vault 87. You probably can't. And I can't help but feel like there's got to be at least a couple other places where there's been some kind of door we can't access. Definitely going into Vault 87 from Little Lamplighter, there was another area, another door that we couldn't access. And so there's definitely some weirdness around all of that. we're going to switch over to holy water and finish that quest. And then I'm not really sure what other quests there are to work with.
Yeah, you need something?
Okay.
Hey there.
So if this is called holy water, I wonder if this guy...
Hello, sweet child. Hello, I don't believe we've met. I'm Mother Maya, prophet of the atom and embracer.
Is she a new character or just somebody I haven't talked to? Because I have not done anything as far as these quests.
The fabric of the universe itself is ours to weave. So, welcome to Megaton.
And I probably shouldn't tell him about Vault 87.
For those answers.
Yeah, so this is just the wife of this guy.
Here shall be stricken death to hear the... It is so good to see you again, dear child. Raise shower.
So nothing there. Where should I go as far as the local map? Seems like to start the quest, I need to be at the door. Which that does seem like the way this goes. A lot of times is that if there's a quest in a city, it's just outside the city.
I'm so thirsty.
We have another guy.
Crystal clear water. Bless you.
No. Bless you. I'm glad to help.
I haven't tasted water this pure.
This guy was dead before.
What should I do? He asked for water, and I thought I was helping him, not killing him.
Slow down, what happened here?
I just gave him some water I picked up on the way through Springvale. It tasted pure, and it looks clean. How was I supposed to know? I thought it would help him. It was supposed to be holy water. The man at the monastery in Springvale said it was blessed. He gave me this pamphlet along with the water. He called himself Brother Gerard. You can find him on the road through Springvale. They said they had lots of this holy water. Please do something to stop them. I can't stay here.
Take this holy water with us. Monastery of Eternal Light. So finally, maybe we will have a reason to maybe go into that cellar, which is another location that we couldn't access. Okay. So then it really becomes questionable whether Springvale even was a location that actually existed in the main game. So this guy stole the water, like poisoning the water. There's Rosa. I don't know why she's running this general direction. Holy Light Monastery. Where?
Weary traveler, welcome.
So he's
the
just
monastery of
turned
the Apostles of the Eternal Light.
this.
Oh, but you must be parched from your travels. Yet please accept this gift.
This
Holy
guy
water,
is.
blessed by our order.
He's got a power fist on
We
too.
must drink deep of the water of light, so that it may sanctify our tongues and render us purified for discourse.
Okay, so what can we do as far as quest wise? Drink the holy water, ask about the holy water of the Monastery of Eternal Light.
You must cleanse your tongue of unseemly speech by drinking deep of the holy water.
Okay. Again, this is like one of the weirdest points. It's 13 rads. It's worse than drinking two dirty waters.
Then we may speak.
Hmm.
I can see the glint of Adam's light in your eyes. You have purified your tongue with the holy water. So now we may speak. How may this servant of the eternal light serve you?
Hmm.
No, ours is a modest order. But our ranks are growing slowly, as others hear our words and are enlightened. As
So
our
this is like an
luminescent mother
expansion
says, where others
of
walk
the
only
children
in
of the
dying
Atom
waste, we offer the
cult
path of eternal
religion.
light. And to spread goodwill, we offer this holy water to any and all supplicants.
Hmm. Let's see.
It's full of Adam's light, if that's what you mean. Brighter and warmer than any water I've ever seen before. Blessing of the holy water is overseen by Mother Curie III, our luminescent mother, but her work keeps her busy within the monastery at all times.
Let's see. So the quest is to stop them.
Our luminescent mother went to meditate outside of the city, and as she wandered in a trance, she was visited by Adam's angels of war. These angels brought her aqua pura, water so pure, so pristine, and so unsullied that she knew it would make the perfect vessel.
So
for
she
Adam's
took
glow.
the
Since that day, she has busied herself
aqua pura
consecrating Adam's pure water into the waters of light.
and is irradiating it. Do we want to know more about their order?
The apostles of the eternal light were first introduced to the majesty of Adam's glow by the holy teachings of Confessor Cromwell.
So it's
They
a
were
splinter
content to
group.
stay in Cromwell's church until Adam gave a vision unto our luminous mother. She learned that Adam did not call for division, that sundering which drives us apart. Adam calls for enlightenment, the warmth which feeds us. For it is only through Adam's supreme and total enlightenment that we may attain salvation in eternal light.
And see, this is the problem with any kind of cult, particularly one just being based off of just nonsensical ignorance, for lack of a better descriptor. That one slightly crazy person's ideas then get spun out into the next crazy person's ideas, and it just gets worse and worse.
I'm afraid it is not open to the unenlightened. Your presence would contaminate our great works. However, if you are willing to be baptized in Adam's holy light, then perhaps I could allow you to enter and meet our leader.
Sure.
Yes, call it what you will. We simply will not allow any who do not bear the light. Make your way to our tabernacle, pilgrim. Pray to Adam to fill you with holy radiance. Bask in the glow of Adam's eternal light.
Become irradiated? Sure.
May Adam's light guide you.
Alright, so where's this optional tabernacle? Because it's going to be kind of hard. Like, show locations. Small ranch. Was this always called the small ranch? I mean, because I know somewhere around here was a pit pool of irradiated water. But I don't know, because that's what I would expect, is that there should be like a pool of irradiated water somewhere around here, and it shouldn't just be something as simple as, say, getting dirty water and drinking all of that.
May Adam light your...
Like, so you can't just hold A here. I just have so much, like, I guess you can hold A. Interesting. I just have so much radiation resistance here that drinking from this fire hydrant to become irradiated is a particularly slow experience. Remember, while it is feasible and very believable that maybe you would only be somewhere around level 15 at this point if you just rush through the main story, I still think that a lot of players would have not found these side quests and wouldn't have known what to really do. The radiation level is now.
Welcome to our monastery.
Let's see. There. I've gotten a little irradiated. Can I go in now?
Ah, I can feel the light within you. By all means, you are welcome in our sanctuary. Please, speak with our leader, our luminescent mother, Curie III.
So now we have this key.
May Adam's light guide you.
Which this does pretty much tell us that we now know. Why is there radiation right here on this step? I guess there's radiation right here. I can kind of understand how people would think that... Oh, there was a whole baptism thing we could have done. Let's see what the switch does. Oh. Radiation traps as a new concept. Interesting. Radiation should have played more of a role in the game, so if radiation traps had existed throughout the entire game, it probably would have been very nice. It does pretty much also highlight how if you were to just have started to remake this game as soon as the DLC was done, it would have been definitely a better experience. And that definitely explains why there's Skyrim is so much better an experience. But arguably, you could also say that had Fallout never been purchased by Bethesda and they had just made Skyrim games, Elder Scrolls games, then Skyrim potentially could have been even twice as good as it was, because they clearly are resource limited, and just purchasing Fallout from a different company and then making Skyrim in Fallout form.
Oh my! I wasn't expecting
Madame Curie, I believe,
We're hardly prepared for casual
was
visitors, I'm afraid.
the original Madame Curie was one of the ones that discovered
He's a lovely boy.
radiation.
Rather strident. I hope he wasn't a bother. Oh, but where are my manners? I'm Mother Curie III, and I lead the Apostles of the Eternal Light. What can I do for you, my dear?
Let's see if we can talk people out of it, because speech checks will give us more experience than just killing this old lady.
Yes. If you wanted some, I'm sure that Brother Gerard would have gladly given you a bottle or two. We don't charge for charity, you know.
Let's see. How do you make the holy water? It's an interesting question.
It was a gift from Adam. I was meditating right here in Springvale when 4 of his armored angels came to me. When I said I was from Megaton, they gave me barrels of aqua pura and said I should share it with my people.
So clearly, they're not being very picky about who they give the water to.
And so I've been busy blessing this holy water and sharing it with the world. Why, to offer enlightenment to all those who suffer, of course.
See, the problem here is she's crazy, so talking, even if it feels like you can talk her out of it, like, she's not really trustworthy. And since we don't have insane asylums, or the resources to even take care of crazy people, killing her is probably the nicest thing we could do.
Those reborn never hunger, never suffer, and never age. All our enlightened brethren need to know is Adam's glow, and they are happy.
Turning people into ghouls, but that requires an amazing amount of radiation.
That's correct, it does. But we can work miracles with our holy water. Free of impurities, this aqua pura is perfect for carrying Adam's blessing. Sadly, only a small number of supplicants truly achieve eternal light. The rest must be satisfied with enlightenment and an end to their suffering.
Okay, so we'll just now do this one.
Don't be silly. How else will we spread the word to the unenlightened? So many misunderstand Adam and fear the glow of his light as a thing of destruction, rather than humanity's next step toward perfection. With this marvelous holy water, they drink without fear, and by the time the glow consumes them, they have no need to fear ever.
I almost would agree if they were coming out and not wrapping it in religion. If they just said, hey, we've got this water, it's very radiated. If you drink it, there's a chance you'll become a ghoul. If you want to be a ghoul, we kind of think ghouls are the next step in evolution. I don't know if that's really an argument that stands up to science, though, because I would heavily suspect ghouls are sterile and cannot make baby ghouls. So that's a evolutionary dead end. It's interesting here we also have a 28% speech check, so they just expect you to fail here.
Is that truly what it looks like to others? Huh. We only mean to tend to the ill and offer them salvation before they pass. We're saviors, not murderers. We offer salvation, not death. We must not give the world another reason to fear Adam's light. If that means no more holy water, then so be it. We will leave the clean aqua pura for the residents of Megaton. We will save our ministrations for those who seek us out.
But see, this is also still kind of a problem because
Thank you for
you're
choosing
letting
wisdom over violence.
you're still really just letting her like continue to grow her cult mentality. And I guess we'll leave the glowing ones alone since they're not attacking me. Named. And see, I have really no reason to pick up these aqua puras at all. Can't talk to any of these people. Okay.
May Adam be with you always.
Well, at least we finally, hundreds of hours later, at least it feels like hundreds of hours, figured out what this shelter was. And I just kind of assume, at the very least, this shelter door was added with the DLC. Clearly, this content stuff was added with the DLC. As for the quests, so report back to Bigsley, report back there. So, radiation, we will take a rat away, or two. And guess that's just one more place we'll never have to visit again. Let's see. I don't know if I want to go to Anacostia Crossing. Let's go back to Rivet City. And
Hey, be more careful.
we'll hold on to one holy water as just a collectible. We'll talk to this lady.
Well, did you take care of whoever's behind the attacks on the caravans?
Guy named Splitjack. Don't worry. He's dead now.
Really? Oh, that's excellent. Thank you. As soon as I have a moment, I'll make arrangements to see to your reward.
What do you mean you'll make arrangements?
Yes, well, I don't really have anything I can give you at the moment. I've simply, run out of resources. Only a quarter of my escorts have made it back. I fear the worst. I'll send word to Bigsley, the Brotherhood scribe running things over at Project Purity. I'm sure the Brotherhood can reward you for your efforts. Now, if you'll excuse me...
Yep. So we may be getting a little shortchanged here, but whatever. Like, I really care about being rewarded for any of these quests. It's not giving me any XP or anything. This is pretty much, though, going to end these two quests. They're not particularly long. I really have to question.
All the medical supplies.
Well, I need something to pay the caravan drivers with. I ran out of cigarettes and booze last week.
They don't have any resources.
You mean besides go soak your heads in the basin?
Sir?
Fine. Grab some meds from the supply, but tell them that's it. Put up railings or something. What is it this time?
Let's see. I've stopped the cult that was stealing Megaton's water.
Cult? There's something about Megaton, isn't there? It's apparently the place to start a cult these days. Guess I can start sending them water again. Hopefully they can keep their grubby hands on their
Honestly, it was their fault for not
much.
investigating who's in charge and actually giving it to the right person in charge.
Thanks.
Let's see. I think we're going to have to ask this question about selling.
Yes, I received a message from her. It's here somewhere. Well, no matter where it is, I know what it said. The initiates just finished itemizing a requisition of confiscated Enclave gear. There were a few items that we didn't immediately send out. I suppose you're welcome to those. The Brotherhood thanks you for your efforts.
He's
Now,
just straight up
if you don't mind,
yawning.
I think I'll just take a brief nap here at my desk.
Hi.
So we have a Gatling laser.
What is it this time? Many of us keep asking that same question. The Brotherhood isn't a postal service. We have important things to do, and we need caps and technology to do it. Lyons is on some kind of mission. Has he forgotten about the Enclave?
What's funny is his daughter, I bet they lost the voice actor for her.
Offset the cost of Lyons' little pet purity project.
Speech. So you've set something up on the side.
Do what we can. Take, for example, this ghoul Griffin. He wanted to purchase a bunch of water. What the hell does that droopy irradiated fool need with pure water? Thinks he can sell it in Underworld. Moron. But he's the only one who's offered to pay for water in caps and technology. And what Lyons doesn't know won't hurt him. There's plenty of water to go around. And I can use it to pay Rivet City to provide security for all the
But see, if they're giving water to shady characters,
lucky he came along.
then people are going to stop trusting the water if it becomes poisoned. Let's see.
Well, by all means.
Where's Dr. Lee?
She apparently decided to pursue more interesting projects up north in the Commonwealth. The real reason? she couldn't handle us scribes improving upon her work. She's the kind of woman who needs to be in charge of everything. Good luck to her out there in the wasteland. It's a long walk to the Commonwealth. Can't say she'll be missed. Because it's not irradiated? Really? You couldn't work that one out for yourself?
They're not giving it... How long do you think it will take to purify the basin is an interesting question.
I don't think anyone really knows the answer to that. Seems to be going rather quickly, though.
Yeah, can it just purify all the water, assuming all the water is connected on the planet? Ever think of letting people bring in empty bottles to fill up?
Sure, you can imagine the chaos if we just let anyone who wanted to wade into the basin and fill up a jug? Frankly, there just isn't the time or the resources to deal with that crowd control nightmare. You take a bottle, you dunk it underwater, and glug, 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 it fills up. Amazing. But you're right, a machine would help, but all the scribes are busy reverse engineering Enclave gear. A machine that puts water in bottles just isn't on anyone's priority list at the moment.
The Nuka-Cola plant, certainly if you took that over and could get a pipe from a source to the Nuka-Cola plant would be great. I was going to ask you something, but I forgot what it was.
Yeah, well, when you remember what it was you were going to ask...
Seems like an odd dialogue quest.
No kidding. You know, these chairs aren't...
Yep. So it seems like we got an entire Enclave power armor set, which has put us in a disadvantage. I guess I could get my charisma up by 1 if I wore this, but the damage resistance is pretty low there.
Very comfortable. Think I might
Let's
just
see
not
if we
show
can
up
trade some items with Fox.
Yes, by all means.
Let's see. This power armor is not really good. We could repair a Gatling laser. And we'll keep Stab happy. This 19 laser pistol's not going to do us any good. This flamer's not going to do us any good. Although we wanted to see if maybe incinerator and flamer would be the same. Some of these others could probably be dropped too.
And I shall follow.
The good news is Fox stays quiet most of the time, so you don't run into a scenario where he's annoying. A heavy incinerator, even though they both use flames, seem not to be able to repair each other. That kind of sucks. Holy water is now worn off as an effect. The amazing Aquacura. Discover what Griffin at the Underworld is doing with Aquacura. So we got one more quest. But after that, I don't know where... like, where else you would really want to go. There's a Museum Authority building now that is marked, and either I just never discovered that, or that's something different. You know what's weird is, with the whole White House setup, there was the presidential key And that was yet another area that we just didn't really do anything with. And if I had killed this guy before, I don't know how you could have done this quest.
Fear no longer. Cast your gaze upon my luxurious coiffure, and now you too can get your hair back with the amazing Aquacura.
So he's selling it to ghouls to possibly heal the ghouls, which I'd almost suspect might work. So Griffin, maybe he's like wearing a wig. Yeah.
Losing your hearing? Having trouble eavesdropping across the room? Scientific tests conclude beyond a reasonable.
So this guy's just selling it. I mean, it's as legitimate a business as you would think anywheres, and he would be still funding the Brotherhood of Steel, who need the funding. Although, honestly, I could just take my 40,000 caps plus and hand it to the Brotherhood of Steel, and they would be funded. It's really sucky that there isn't some barter system here that would make sense. I have like 42,000 caps, yeah. Because if you were going to play this game and have a barter system, it definitely would happen. So I think we barely gone 2 hours, but there's been like 19 hours break. So I think this is as good of a point as anywhere for me to end this episode. We still got a lot of DLC to do, but I think now is a good time to end here. So that's going to be it for this recording. As always, I ask you to like, share, subscribe, comment, and watch every second of my videos. If you want a friend or follow me on any social media sites, there's a whole bunch of links down below. Thank you for watching. Have a good evening.